Have you ever wondered if what you're feeling is actually burnout or just regular tiredness? Maybe you took a day off or slept in on the weekend, but still woke up feeling completely drained. That's because there's a huge difference between being tired and being burned out. Most of us think burnout is just being super tired from working too hard, but it's way more serious than that. I used to think I was just going through a rough patch when I couldn't focus on anything for more than 5 minutes. Turns out, my brain was actually changing on a physical level. Burnout physically alters your brain. The World Health Organization recognizes burnout as an occupational phenomenon, a real condition that affects millions of people. Burnout has 3 main parts, and you might recognize some of these in yourself. First, there's feeling emotionally drained, like you just can't give any more of yourself to your work. Second, there's becoming detached from your work. Maybe you start feeling negative or cynical about what you do. And third, there's that feeling that you're not accomplishing anything worthwhile, no matter how hard you try. My friend in healthcare once told me she felt numb walking into work, going through motions with patients, but feeling disconnected from a job she once loved. This disconnect from meaningful work exemplifies burnout at its core. The statistics are alarming. Nearly 75% of American employees report experiencing burnout at their current job. That's 3 out of 4 people around you at work. Over half say they've experienced it multiple times, making burnout practically an epidemic in today's workplace. Young women between 18 to 34 are especially vulnerable, with studies showing higher burnout rates in this demographic. My sister in tech experienced this firsthand, starting her dream job enthusiastically, but within a year feeling dread at the mere sight of her laptop. Here's the key difference between tiredness and burnout. Tiredness improves after rest, but burnout persists. If a vacation refreshes you, that was normal fatigue. If 2 weeks off still leaves you emotionally exhausted and disconnected on your first day back, that's burnout. When you're burned out, your brain's wiring gets disrupted from prolonged overload. Psychologist Herbert Freudenberger, who first coined the term burnout, described it as a physical and mental collapse that happens when you've been working too hard for too long. Burnout rarely stems from one major crisis. Researchers describe it as the accumulation of hundreds or thousands of tiny disappointments, each one hardly noticeable on its own. Your brain tallies these small stresses until it reaches a breaking point. I experienced this when suddenly trivial things became irritating. My coworkers' keyboard typing sounded like torture, and weekly team meetings filled me with dread. These minor annoyances accumulated unnoticed until they became overwhelming. Burnout manifests in 3 primary ways: emotional exhaustion, complete depletion of physical and emotional energy; depersonalization, withdrawing from people and feeling detached about your work; and reduced personal accomplishment, declining performance and feeling your efforts are meaningless. My neighbor, a high school teacher, exemplified this last year when he began forgetting to grade papers, something he'd never done before. He described sitting at his desk staring at paper stacks for hours, unable to begin. His brain struggled with basic functions. We often miss early warning signs, dismissing them as temporary rough patches. Understanding that burnout is a neurological condition is crucial to addressing it properly. Your brain is altering its structure and function, requiring specific healing strategies. When I finally recognized what was happening to me, it was actually relieving. I'd been forgetting simple things and struggling with basic decisions, fearing early onset dementia. Learning these were classic burnout symptoms meant there was both an explanation and a path to recovery. A woman I interviewed burst into tears when her doctor diagnosed burnout. "I thought I was just bad at my job suddenly," she said. "Finding out my brain was being affected by chronic stress made me realize it wasn't a character flaw." Fortunately, these brain changes can be reversed with proper intervention. Your brain possesses remarkable healing capacity, but understanding what's happening is the first step toward recovery. Now that we understand what burnout truly is, let's examine what occurs in your brain when focus becomes impossible. Understanding the science behind your concentration issues, memory problems, and emotional dysregulation equips you to begin healing effectively. Think of burnout like a physical injury. You wouldn't try walking off a broken leg without proper treatment. Similarly, burnout requires understanding exactly what's breaking down in your brain to provide appropriate care. In the next section, I'll show you which brain regions burnout affects and how these changes explain your symptoms. Your brain is physically changing when burned out, but with the right approach, you can help it recover.